I went back to English teaching because I just didn't like the company I was at, and it's just such an easy transition just to go back there if you want to. But when I was a salaryman, I was still, to make extra income, I still, every Saturday, because I didn't have to work Saturdays or Sundays, I would teach English every Saturday, and I'd also do English teaching on the side, which got me at least another grand or so a month. So,
which I should mention, if you're Seishain, don't do that. That's very bad.
Why?
It's against the rules, dude. If they find out, they can fire you.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you know, how are they going to find out?
I don't know.
Anyway,
bitches get bitches. Wait, bitches get what? What's it?
I don't know. I don't speak Mexican. Anyway, the point is that yeah, I mean, for me, like, I expect every entry level job that's paying me shit is not a place that I really want to stay at long term. So I'm willing to take that risk of getting fired because I just want to make that extra money, and I'm in it for the experience versus the money. And besides, like, people don't check resumes. Why do you think I've been fired so many times but I still get okay? Anyway, next. So, how do you use your gaijin status to get some advantages? Oh, it's great. Do you want to go first, or I'll go first? Okay, you go.
I refuse to use
the gaijin smash. I gaijin smash every time.
I know you do.
It's amazing. It's like having the platinum card that Paris Hilton uses. You know, it's awesome. Okay, like me, for example, I washed my. Well, this isn't really okay. Let's just stick to job-related shit. I don't know. Sometimes I'll purposely take advantage if there's a shitty email in English. If there's something happens, like they're like, "Why didn't you come to the party? You said 8, or like I don't know." If there's like a fucking mistyping or misspelling or something, I'll use that against them, and I'll be like, "What? I didn't understand. Like, why didn't you just send me Japanese? I can read Japanese." And that way it's their fault. So it's like, well, hey, you know, I take advantage of people's ignorance of English sometimes. Oh, at work, I used to when I was an ALT, but this was when I didn't know any Japanese. When I was an ALT at my first school, the dispatch companies say you cannot ask the schools to let you out early. But if they let you out early, that's totally okay. So I remember I didn't speak any Japanese, but there's 3 English teachers in a school of like, I don't know, 30 plus teachers, and the principal and vice principal didn't speak any English. So they would just come up to me, and there were days where there was a bunch of planning that had nothing to do with English teaching, and they'd just be like, "Sam, go home." I'd be like, "What? I can help out?" No, it's cool. Go home. And I'd be like, "Awesome! Yay! Reverse racism, or I guess racism, positive racism, yay." They're like, he doesn't speak Japanese, and I don't give a fuck, and he's a nice kid, so fuck it, just let him go home. That was good. That was a good guy to smash.
All my emails are in Japanese, so that really wouldn't work.
Oh, yeah?
And I am adamant against using any sort of advantage that being a foreigner would probably get me.
What about your big cock?
What about my big cock, Sam?
I don't know. I would use that to get advantages. Hey, man, you know, I'm only half black. You know how that is. I got the...
Next!
Anyway, next! How much Japanese did you learn before you got to Japan, and how much did you pick up by being there?
Now, that's a good question. I studied before I came. Went to a Japanese university. And, even then, I mean, I've learned a lot just being here, again, living in Japan and working here. The amount of Japanese that I learned at work even is just, I mean, I work in real estate, so almost all the terms that I'm using now are not terms that I knew before I started this job. Because there just simply wasn't a reason to learn how to say, you know, existing an existing house, or, you know, tax code in for a certain building type. It would not have any pertinence to my life, but because it's pertinent to my job, I had to learn it, and so, I mean...
Oh, God. I had to learn so much fucked up words when I was working at a porn company. I had to learn what, like, smegma and warts was in Japanese. And,
that's terrible.
And the herp. Oh, man. Which, surprisingly, is just herpes. Anyway, yeah.
Terrible.
Oh, it don't matter. I don't think the guys are gonna jerk off to your hair in this video. So you learned Japanese before you came here, but also it just got way better.
Oh,
But so as soon as, even if people are coming over here and teaching English, as long as they actually apply themselves, they can actually learn Japanese.
If you apply yourself,
if you apply your fucking self, this doesn't mean 1 hour a day for fucking weeks. This is like daily exposure as much as possible, and sitting down and actually studying some shit.
And I will say this too. I think that anybody can be conversational in Japanese pretty easily, because you don't need to master the participles like ni, de, o to be conversational in Japanese. And I think that makes learning conversational Japanese very easy. Don't you agree?
Yeah. I mean, that's why you get so many African dudes from over like fucking Senegal and Chad and stuff that come over here and they can speak like no other, just because, but they can't read for shit.
Again, so that being said, conversational Japanese I think is pretty easy to pick up. It's when you want to start learning more proper business Japanese as well as the kanji and the writing system. That's where you really need to apply yourself. But if you're willing to apply yourself, for instance, this is true. In America, I was the worst Japanese person in my class. I fucking sucked at Japanese. I was the worst.
I got like a D+.
Oh, I was lucky if I got a D. Absolutely the worst. So, now I speak fluently. So, I mean, it just, how much are you willing to commit, I guess, is really for that sort of thing. I mean, it again, lived here for about 10 years now, so.
Yeah, you know? Yeah. God, I mean, look at all that manga. Goddamn.
That's a fuck ton of manga.
That's a fuck ton of manga. Yeah, so.
If that fell on him, he'd die.
Yeah, nah.
He'd be crushed instantly.
Hopefully. I could only wish for such a cool death. But yeah, I mean, I think if you guys, like, actually, like, you know, it's easy to become conversationally fluent, but if you don't have an environment where you're going to learn through, I mean, like, it's easy to become conversational, especially if you're an ALT, because most of the time nobody's speaking English to you, and you're around 100% Japanese environment, and if you're cool, like, they'll actually, like, you know, encourage you to learn Japanese at those schools. So anyway, but yeah, as for that though, if you're not in an office environment like him, you're gonna have to actually go out of your way, like I'm doing now, to actually study this shit, read books, have your friends quiz you, you know, fucking watch movies. I was even thinking about doing a part-time job in Japanese just so I could get some more Japanese exposure for work environment shit.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
If you can swing that, depending on your visa, that might be a great way to do it too.
Well, what you do is that you get that stamp that says allows you to work outside of your visa, and what you do is you just simply get a job, like let's say if you have the public educators visa, whatever that most of the dudes at Interac have that are ALTs, what you do is you get a job teaching English part-time in Eikaiwa, and you get a contract saying I'm getting specifically paid this much amount of money for these many days or whatever, and then you bring that to immigration and they give you a stamp saying you can engage in other activities, and then you just use that and then you just work a part-time job somewhere else.
That's I'm not sure if that's legal. That sounds shady.
Well, I mean, technically it's allowed because there's no specifications on what is outside there. And my buddy, that's how he did that, because he was an ALT, but he wanted to do dancing because he's a professional dancer on the weekends for events. But the event jobs are always event by event, so you don't get, there's no contracts. You know, they're event by event contracts instead of a yearly contract. So he just, you know, he used that. He just did what I did, and bada bing, bada boom. He's been doing it for like 2 or 3 years. Fine. Anyway, next, Andrew, where are you in the ladder? Are you at the very bottom? I assume you only speak Japanese at work.
Well, I actually went through a headhunting company, so I'm not at the bottom, but I'm not yet any sort of like yakuin position. I also am not shunin or anything because I've only been working there for about a year.
Has it been over a year now?
It's been over a year now.
Yeah, shit. Congrats, bro.
Thanks, man. Last month was 1 year.
Well, yeah. Fuck yeah. Bonuses.
But at my office, aside from my executive director sometimes saying "Good morning, Andrew," in English, everything is in Japanese.
Yeah, I bet he get that. that probably makes him feel all nice and fuzzy on the inside, being like, I got to say got to use some English and look cool in front of the guys. He said good morning to that motherfucker with the hair. Yeah, it's great. Okay, so you're not at the bottom, but you're not even in the middle. You're at least above entry level.
I'm above entry level, yeah.
Okay, so and you only speak Japanese at work.
Yeah.
Okay, next. Do you speak fluent Japanese, and did that help or not in your search? If you don't speak fluent Japanese, did that help or hurt you on your search? It always helps. Always helps.
Always helps.
Learn your fucking Japanese.
If you don't, yeah, just learn Japanese.
Just learn Japanese. It helps.
I mean, if you can't speak Japanese, that really will limit you to what you can do. I'd imagine.
Yeah, there's a couple of headhunters out there like Hayes and stuff, and they're great. I mean, Hayes, they were really nice guys. They got me a couple of interviews. Like they got me an interview with Glee.
Show?
No. There was I think it was called Glee. There's it was like an application on anyway, on Mixi or whatever. They wanted me to do translating, but nobody uses Mixi because it's all Japanese. But it's stupid. But anyway, but they were really nice. But at the same time, almost a majority, almost all the fucking headhunters out there are Japanese. So if you know Japanese, yeah, they'll work with you. I mean, yeah. So learn Japanese.
Resume, yeah. I mean, you're gonna need a Japanese resume anyways too. So if you can't write that, then, and I mean, if you work in a Japanese company, most of your emails are gonna have to be in Japanese too. So again, learn Japanese.
Yep, shut up and learn Japanese.
Next.
Did you have any connections that helped you get employed?
For the first job, yes.
Always have connections. A majority of my jobs have been through connections.
For the first job, for the sales job, yes. Friend introduced me to the CEO, which got me the job. For my current job, no, I got it through a headhunter, which sort of acts as a connection in Japan. It seems they're like, hey, is this guy cool? And the headhunter's like, yeah, he's cool. Don't worry,
he's cool, dude. Don't worry, I wouldn't fuck with you, man.
So
I'm not in for the money, you know.
Not in for the money, man.
I just want your respect, bro.
But
push some crush. PC,
South
bro.
Park.
PC, bro. But yeah, definitely.
It's just like the rest of the world, isn't it? I mean, having connections will always help you. It will
Connections
never hurt you.
Never hurt. I mean, I got like at Interact, you know, I got my buddy who moved up to HR after everybody left from the earthquake. He got me a job there. I made friends with the dude who worked at the dispatch company that got me the job at the game company. You know, my first porn job, I met that boss there.